Welcome to the Higher Ed Demand Gen podcast, helping higher education marketing leaders share knowledge about learning, strategies, and tactics that are relevant today. See what you can learn today by listening to one of our episodes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Higher Ed Demand Gen podcast, hosted by Concept 3D. If you like our content, please follow and subscribe to us. I'm Shiro Hattori, your host today, and I'm very excited to talk about increasing demand and enrollment for graduate and professional programs. And for that conversation, I'm very thrilled to speak with David Gladson today. He's the Associate VP for Marketing at Point Loma Nazarene University. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Shiro. Thanks for having me.
And Dave, I ask all my guests this as an icebreaker. Can you tell us what you love about higher ed?
I mean, it's not a unique answer, but I love that I get to do awesome marketing, but it's helping people change their lives, do the thing, get a degree that helps them make an advance in their life. I get to be a marketing professional, but directly helping people every day.
That's fantastic. And can you tell us a little bit about your role and maybe your team in just like a minute or two?
Sure. So we're the central marketing office for the university. So we partner with undergraduate admissions, graduate admissions, the fundraising office, and we really try to keep our team's time focused on the revenue generating activities of the university. So we have about 10% of our time set aside for all the other stuff, all the random requests that come through, help me with this flyer, help with this, but really 90% of our team's time is focused on supporting those three revenue generating arms. So I lead the team, and then some of the outside of our team management, some of the biggest pieces of my role is serving on like our strategic enrollment planning committee and just making sure that marketing perspective is represented right at the beginning of the program design processes. We're even deciding what programs should we have and what should we launch.
That's fantastic. And I know there's a lot of things that make PLNU unique. One of the things I love is also the location, but can you tell us a little bit more about the student population and what's unique about that as well?
Yeah, so we're a private liberal arts institution. We're located right on the water. I do have the advantage of putting, sunset shots and surfboard racks by the freshman dorms on a lot of our brochures. Of course, that comes with the downside of having beachfront property prices. So there's a trade-off there. But our traditional undergraduate campus has a capped enrollment. We're between the ocean and military base and a very exclusive neighborhood, so we can't expand that campus. We have 2,700 students there, and that's the most we can ever have. So to grow the university beyond that, that's how we've had to invest in our graduate programs, our adult undergraduate programs, and we're approaching the 50% mark. Almost 50% of our student body is now that either non-traditional undergrad or graduate online programs, in addition to that traditional undergraduate campus that will always be there at Point Loma.
That's great. And I believe you told me in our prior conversation that in San Diego, you're capped in your undergrad enrollment because of the physical limitation of expanding your campus, but you're able to actually grow your graduate and professional programs more because you can build classrooms outside of that undergrad zone. Is that right?
Exactly. So in 2021, we built a health science campus, a Balboa regional campus, which is all focused on our graduate health science programs, athletic training, OT, physician assistant, really excellent graduate programming. We have our Mission Valley campus with focuses on education programs. So expanding throughout San Diego, partnering with the community colleges, either deliver classes on those community college campuses or in an online format. But all of that in addition to our main traditional campus.
Gotcha. And tell me a little bit about each of these graduate programs or professional programs you have. Do they also have their own, what it would be equivalent to VP marketing or director of marketing, or do you partner with them, or do you own those programs?
We have basically centralized marketing. So we do all the marketing for the university, particularly for graduate and professional, happens through our office. Our traditional undergraduate admissions has a little bit more of maybe the traditional higher ed model where they have some that they do within their team, and then they partner with us for some of their bigger initiatives. But yeah, for graduate and professional, it's 100% centralized marketing budget, and a really strong partnership between us and admissions to make sure that our efforts are aligned with their outreach efforts, the different places they're going, making sure that our two teams are aligned so that admissions and marketing are closely aligned. It makes it really much easier for us to partner with academics when there's alignment between the two sides of the house over here.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm very excited to hear that, because a lot of times I interview guests on the show, and obviously they have pretty segmented or siloed marketing departments separate for their graduate and professional programs. And while they do partner with central marketing sometimes, being siloed is a big part of the conversation. So it's great to hear that. I'm curious, like, how much of your role is like split between undergrad and the graduate and professional programs?
Yeah, and to your point a second ago, like that was Point Loma's reality back in 2018. We did have a decentralized model with individual program budgets, and it was a several year process to really centralize that, and bring those marketing budgets under central control and really build that central strategy office. Yeah, today I would say 40% of our team's time is focused on that graduate professional side, probably about 30% on the traditional undergraduate, 20% for fundraising, and then that 10% for assisting everybody else with the various projects we can do, whether that's just to help them out or whether that's for that general brand awareness, partnerships. But yeah, that's kind of how we split our team's time.
That's amazing. And I didn't know that you guys moved to the centralized model like quite recently. I thought it was, embedded before that. What was the evolution like from like the first couple of years, and like when did you really start seeing outcomes, or what are the outcomes you saw?
Yeah, so Point Loma made a strategic decision to start really investing in that graduate professional over a decade ago, and the first couple of years were really rough, trying to market those more, professional programs with that decentralized model. We had a lot of problems the first couple of years. We didn't see the enrollment growth we wanted. And we definitely had to work with accounting, make the pitches, build the models, and show like this is how much efficiency we'll gain if we can bring the centralized. We went from a 1 or 2% conversion rate on a lot of our marketing efforts to a 6% rate to enrollment. And now like we're heading potentially towards 7 or 8%. So just being able to make that business case of if we can market 3 times more efficient, you can spend a lot fewer dollars on marketing. Where else can you invest that in the student experience, in professors? Like what are all the other places you'd rather invest those funds than spending more on marketing dollars? So, and it was definitely a multi-year journey. It didn't happen all in one step. There was definitely some incremental steps along the way where we started to centralize, and then a little bit more each year until really in 2019 is when we were able to have a fully centralized budget and then be able to launch a truly integrated campaign that supports all of graduate and professional.
That's amazing. How long was that strategic plan to did you create a 4 or 5 year plan? Like, hey, this is like when we expect results, or did the goalposts move as you went along?
There was definitely some learning as we built. The goalposts definitely shifted. And yeah, the results didn't come in like it wasn't magic. The first year of we partnered with a local agency, Red Door Interactive, to run our external campaign. And yeah, the results in year 1 were not quite as high as we expected. But year 2, we built momentum. Year 3, and now we're in a position where we're exceeding results. So really sticking with the strategy, obviously making course corrections along the way, but really fully committing to it and sticking with it long enough for those awareness efforts to start paying off, because it wasn't instant success.
Got it. Thanks for sharing that with us. Well, let's talk a little bit about the success you've built over the last 4 years. What have the numbers been like? I want everyone to know like these amazing results.
Yeah, I mean, for graduate and professional, we've seen double-digit growth in enrollment and in revenue last 4 years in a row. And like we were talking earlier, I think the biggest, obviously the campaign's really successful and I'm very proud of the campaign, but I think the biggest reason for that success is bringing the marketing voice in at the strategic enrollment planning process at the very beginning. Because if you don't have a market line program, no amount of marketing dollars is going to make up for a program that doesn't meet the students' expectations. So just really bringing that market research in all the way at the beginning of the process, having those tough conversations of like, should we launch this program? If we launch this are the expectations, but if we can add this or this, and this is what the students are expecting, that will make this program that much more successful. A lot of work on the front end, but it's worth it. It's worth it on the back end.
Got it. And I know we talked about a couple examples of programs you've helped to do research for and relaunch. Can you tell us more about one specific example?
Yeah, probably the biggest single example would be our graduate teaching programs. You know, we'd been looking back to 2018, we had a couple years in a row of fairly steep declining enrollments. So marketing was brought in, was given a seat at that table to really look into the issues. And coming out of that research process, the biggest gap was the modality. Students really were asking for online. We were able to make the case to the dean in that area that like the single biggest difference you can make for these programs is to add that online modality. To their credit, they listened. It took a little bit, but we were able to relaunch their entire suite of programs in an online format, and now we've seen 40 or 50% growth in enrollments over those 3 years since then. So very sharp upward trajectory. Now, the majority of their students are choosing the online format, even when they have options to choose in person as well. It's allowed us to expand across the state of California. We're able to partner with school districts that we never could have served before because we are now able to offer the online format. So yeah, bringing the market research in, they were receptive, and we're seeing the results.
That's amazing. Was there a shift in the programming that you had to do in the educational model as well as you built online? Because I think a lot of schools struggle with bringing their coursework online, and I'm sure that was also a challenge as well.
Yes, and I mean to give the deans and the faculty in that department the credit, like doing the market research and figuring out the problem was only step one. They had to rebuild the programs. They had to invest in delivering the program well, learning a new way to deliver the program. So yeah, we played a big part, but they also had to come to the table and really learn how to deliver the programs in that modality, and they've done it.
That's
and
amazing.
yeah,
At that executive level, like how much, like what are the meetings like? Do you talk with faculty as well and the deans and education? Like, do you bring them all together in one seat? Like, I'm just curious what those meetings are like.
we do, and that's really where that partnership between our team and the graduate admissions team, the vice provost over graduate professional Jamie Brownlee, like we really have a really close partnership where we're going to those meetings together, presenting a united front, talking about how the marketing strategies and the outreach strategies will work together. So yeah, I think if it was just marketing coming to the table by ourselves, like we'd have a lot less success. But when marketing and enrollment can partner together and deliver that unified message with the academics, it makes it so much easier to build that partnership. And it goes from a single voice to really a triad.
Gotcha. No, this is great. I think it's a great model and a framework other institutions can adopt. So appreciate you sharing that. So when I first talked to you and you said, "Hey, we own 40% of all of our graduate and professional programs and online education as well," I was like, "That's a lot of work. How do you do that?" I know you said for your student size you have a larger team, but still, I was pretty surprised to hear that. How do you marketing gets asked a lot of things, right? They're like, "Hey, I need to make this brochure. Hey, we actually need to make this change on the website, like before next week, etc." These things come up all the time, and with all the different graduate programs, including undergrad that you own, like how do you spread the workload? Like it just seems like there's just a lot of moving parts, and I'm just curious, how do you own that? How do you, as a leader, like manage all that, all those asks?
Yeah, it's a great question, and there's several answers. One, we do have a data-based model that we built to really understand where we should put our effort. Which programs have the capacity to grow, which programs don't. And sometimes those are tough conversations, but sometimes it is literally saying your program's in this quadrant. We can only offer this level of support. Or you've got an awesome program. It doesn't have any problem filling the seats. We don't need to do additional efforts here. So really making that case of your program is so market aligned. That's why we're not going to give you additional help. We need to align our efforts to other programs that do need that support. And having a data informed model to be able to make that case. It's also been a multi-year journey of like really transforming from, again, 10 years ago, we really were almost more of a Kinko's, like taking requests and producing stuff. Now we really are a marketing strategy office. Some of the ways we do that, like we've launched different tools for the campus community, a lot of self-service options. So we brought like a Canva model into the campus where we're providing those branded templates. We're giving a lot of self-service options where it's like, our team can't do X for you, but I have Y solution instead. And oftentimes, once people get over the initial shock of like, oh, you're not going to do this one, it's like, oh, I can make it myself. I can put whatever I want on it. You're not going to do a final check. Like, okay, like I can get on board with this. So the Canva model, another example, Canto, we brought in a digital asset management to be able to give people self-service options for getting photography they want. So just what are all the different ways that we can create efficiencies, help people around campus do some of those things themselves, and then creating space to partner when there are those projects that we really do need to partner on.
That's amazing. So the content, I'm sorry, what you called it? It's like a Google Drive, but for higher ed, in essence.
Yeah, Canto, digital asset
Canto,
management. So all
digital asset.
the tens of thousands of images and even short video clips that we filmed over the years. They're there, highly searchable. People can self-serve, find the exact photo they want.
Right.
Canva online design platform where people can go in. We have pre-built templates with all the branding in there. They very quickly drop in their content and have a print-ready file super quick.
That's great. Yeah. So if they're like, hey, I need a picture of a sunset and a surfboard to use for this business school event coming up, they can search in your digital asset management system without having to send you an email and say, hey, I need this image. It's already there.
Exactly. And it's an investment of time up front to get all the images in there, tag them well, make them well searchable, but it pays off. It pays off in the end with people being able to self-service.
Got it. No, I mean, I know that in your opening sentence, you said most of your activity and your work goes to revenue generating activities, I think is what you said, right? And I mean, what you just said aligns perfectly to that. You said you spend about 30% of your time on undergrad, which you mentioned at the very start is you haven't had an issue with enrollment because it's been capped. And so why focus, 80% of your efforts there when you can grow more of your professional graduate program? So, I mean, everything you're saying speaks to like your first opening sentence. So I appreciate that. And I like that you're able to also say no to things that, from a business standpoint, it's not going to make as much impact as in other areas. And I think that's a hard thing that as a marketing person, you really do have to juggle. So really concrete examples there. Thank you.
Thank you.
I struggle with it personally too, because it's like, I want to make this prettier and fancier, but why? What's the impact? And so what's the upside is you got to always think about that. Speaking about, digital asset management and management of resources, I believe your team actually has a full-time project manager on the team. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I think that's a unique model.
Yeah, I think it goes back to that recognition of where figuring out where the best place to invest our resources in. And if we can make a project more efficient for the designer, it's worth it to have that extra layer of having a project manager to ensure that that project is going as efficiently as possible. Can we eliminate 3 rounds of review by having that person who's overseeing the project, really keeping the client focused on what the outcomes are, preventing scope creep. So yeah, it's an investment of resources in having that role on the team, but it pays so many dividends for just making everyone on the teams work more efficient, increases the amount of projects we can do. So yeah, this has been part of our team's culture for a long time, and I don't know how we would function as a team without that full-time project manager role.
Right. And I know the status quo is higher ed moves slow, and obviously there's elements that marketing can control, but do you think that a project manager role can help at least things internally within what you have control of, move things a little bit faster or keep things on track and on schedule?
Absolutely. Again, preventing scope creep is huge. Being that voice in the room to understand the project requirements at the very beginning, and even like do that determination of, is this even something we should take on, or what are other alternatives? So helping people find self-service options if that is, because people come and like, I need a website. Well, let's talk about it. So you actually just need a page, and here's an option you can make it yourself. Done. So yeah, really having someone who can put that time into understanding the needs, helping people maybe reframe their ask into something that is doable.
Mm-hmm.
No, we can't do this, but yes, we could do this instead. Really having that focus, and then yeah, it creates so much more efficiency for everybody on the team who's trying to implement projects, trying to get the work done. There's nothing worse than having an unclear project and trying to meet a deadline with a project that doesn't have a clear objective.
Yeah. This is pure out of curiosity. Did you bring this person in, or did you hire this role from outside of higher ed?
The person in this role, Erin Togerson, our director of marketing operations, she came from higher ed. So
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you don't have to look outside of higher ed for a good project manager. That's good to know.
Don't have to. No.
That's great.
But it does help to offer flexible working arrangements to get the best people into higher ed, because higher ed's not known for paying the best. So where are the ways that we can offer other ways to make people feel appreciated and give people a way to be a part of the team?
I think that was a perfect lead onto my next topic. So nice work, Dave. Yeah, let's talk about work-life balance and preferences. I was very excited to hear that in our initial conversation, you told us about a fourth of your team is fully remote and the rest have a flexible hybrid option. And you've really doubled down on this by even limiting the seats at your institution, so that if everyone comes in, there isn't a seat for everyone. So it's really like supporting this model. Can you tell us a little bit more about this evolution?
Yeah, so even pre-COVID, we had fully remote employees. We had a fully remote manager on the team pre-COVID. We had someone who was really awesome, and they needed, their wife got work in LA. They needed to move. It's like, we'd like to keep you. So how can we make this work? And yeah, just being willing to do the work to figure it out. When we made that COVID transition, our team was pretty well set up. We had a project management system in place. We kind of already figured out how to do remote meetings, maybe not the best, but we had some practice at it. And as we kind of came out of the COVID times, it was like, well, why would we go back? Why wouldn't, this is working? We all prefer this. Why wouldn't we just figure out a way to make this continue to work? So as you were saying, we've now actually reduced the footprint of our office space on the main campus. We collapsed it. It allowed the student counseling services to expand their footprint, which is a much better use for that square footage. But yeah, we can't actually all be in the office at the same time anymore. We have to go get a conference room because we've collapsed that square footage. And yeah, our entire team is remote hybrid. Some people come in 1 day a week. Some people come in once a month or a couple days at a time, but then maybe not for a month. We really give that trust and flexibility to everybody on the team to figure out, come in when you need to, come in when you want to. If you don't need to, don't be here. Just get your work done.
Absolutely. And I know this is a big benefit. I obviously have a hybrid/remote role as well. And there's a big work-life balance element that I benefit from. What has been the benefit for your team and the institution by adopting and accepting more of this model?
Yeah, I mean, some of them are just kind of the standard. Like we all save an hour of commuting time every day by not driving to campus. That recognition that a lot of the agencies we're partnering with, or if we're partnering with a company that's supporting Point Loma, like we'd be on a Zoom call anyway. So why drive to
Yeah,
campus to get on a Zoom call with a vendor? Just do it from home. I think all of us see that, we get an hour back on our days, whether that's
right. Sorry, I
sometimes
think
that's getting more work done, sometimes that's
I asked the question a little poorly. So, how's the school and the institution benefit from it? I mean, like, do you feel like maybe retention is better of employees? Do you think do you have any comments on efficiency? All these things, being able to use tools more digitally and like the digital asset management thing. Like I feel like those are all things that kind of came during COVID, and so I'm just curious to hear your outputs on that.
yeah, the retention benefits are huge. We have very low turnover on the team. People stick around for a long time. It's a huge benefit to be able to offer that. Again, higher ed's not known for paying the best, but we can give people a work situation they like, give people a team that they enjoy working with, and give people the trust that they can manage their work and their life. People are invested and they want to stick around. And to your point, also, I think the efficiency benefits, like we're partnering with agencies and other outside groups that are not on campus anyway. So being a fully hybrid team just helps us be able to work with those agencies better. Just it's just part of our core culture. It's part of our communication style to do that well.
Yeah. No, that reminds me. It's like when you have a call, when you have 5 people in the office and you have to do the Zoom thing and you sit in a conference room, sometimes it's actually less efficient than if some people have to join remote. It's sometimes better just have everyone join remote because the communication is more streamlined, I think. So yeah, that's a great point. Do you have any advice for other teams? So like I think I told you about the salary survey I'm conducting right now, and one of the questions on there was preference for work, and I did see that although higher ed is unique in that not a majority want to actually work fully remote, they do want that hybrid option. But I still saw a gap. So specifically, I think about 14% of people wanted to work fully remote, but in reality, about 8% have that option. So there's still a little bit of a gap there that I think needs to be closed. Do you have any advice for institutions thinking about adopting more of a fully remote or hybrid option?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's true that not everybody wants fully remote. Like we're in higher ed because we want to serve students, and it's nice to see the students sometimes. It's nice to be here and talk face to face with the people's lives you're impacting. So yeah, there's definitely an element of that. Having the fully remote option, expanding your talent pool, like being able to keep people's lives move and change. They want to go other places, being able to keep quality people on the team when life takes them elsewhere is a huge benefit. There's so much of a financial benefit to the institution by not losing people with all that institutional knowledge. And yeah, I mean, just that trust factor. I think people people give more to the work when you show them that trust, when you show them the agency for them to figure out what days they need to be here, what days they want to be here, and what days they can do their work more efficiently from home. I think people are more invested in the work when they're given that trust.
Oh, I love it. I appreciate it. And I'm a full advocate of giving the employees the working situation that they want. So that was great advice. I think we're just at about time right now. I'm wondering where our listeners can connect with you and learn more about the good work you're doing.
Yeah, our institutional website, pointloma.edu. See you can see the health science programs and the education. You kind of see where we've invested as an institution. Find me on LinkedIn if you want to connect. Dave Gladson.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dave. It's been amazing having you, and I hope everyone enjoyed the episode. Thank you.
Thank you, Shiro.